Hey there, welcome. I am back with another deep drive tutorial. Just got um, off the phone, off the forum, if you will, with Chris Witt, who is the designer of Deep Drive Baseball, and the guy is really pretty genius. And when he explains his thinking behind things, the whole game becomes much clearer. So you can easily reach him at the forum, at the Deep Drive Delphi forum, and you can ask him all sorts of questions. And so it's really I'm getting really pumped about this game, particularly when a lot of the things I don't understand are just because I'm trying to wrap my brain around his approach, his thinking behind it. Once I understand what his thinking is, then it becomes very, very clear exactly what's going on. So this is great. He's clarified a few things for me, and I really, really appreciate that. So let's get on to this game, another tutorial, and I'm really excited about this game because this is going to pit Trevor Richards. Trevor Richards was 6-12 with a 4.06 ERA in 30 games, 135 innings pitched. He's an SP9. He's going to go up against the master Jacob deGrom. And that's super exciting to me because we'll see what deGrom can do here against the Miami Marlins. So we're going to get started right away. We are in Marlins Park. This is game 6 of the season, the third game of a 3-game set. Basically it's 1-1 right now. The Mets are 3 wins and 2 losses. This is game 6. And at this point, after this game, they'll be 5-1 in the season. So we're going to get started right away. I'm going to roll the dice. It's Brandon Nimmo leading it off, followed by Pete Alonso and Robbie Cano batting third. In the cleanup spot is Michael Conforto in right field, J.D. Davis batting fifth at third base, Keon Broxton, he's in center field. I'm using actual lineups. That's why he's in center field. Ahmed Rosario, shortstop, and Thomas Nido, and then finally Jacob deGrom. I'm using, again, as I said, the actual lineups for the day. And what I keep doing is bringing up the game. So basically 2019 Mets schedule. And I will do that during the course of the game if I have any questions as to who I should play, who played. I'll always kind of opt for the guys who were around first. And then I'll opt for guys that played in the series second. So this game was played on April 3rd, 2019. And I'm just double checking the Mets batting order. It's Davis, Broxton, Rosario, Nido, and then deGrom. All right, so let's roll. The way Deep Drive works is basically it's 0 to 49 off the batter's card, and then 50 to 99 off the pitcher's card. So it is a 50-50 system. And you have outs on both cards as well. So we're going to roll. We roll 2 die to start. It's actually 3 dice, but I start with 2. You read the red 7 first, and then the 2, so it's a 72, and that's going to be a strikeout. Richard strikeouts Nimmo, or Richard strikes out Nimmo. Next is Pete Alonso, and that's a 28. That's off Alonso's card, and that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Trevor Richards, blows it by Pete Alonso. And then it's Robbie Cano, and that's a 0-2, so that's going to be a deep drive. And in this case, we're going to roll all 3 dice. It's a 95. That's going to be a 1. And a 1 is it's a deep fly to left field. Back goes Granderson to the track, makes the catch. So Robbie takes it the other way, takes that outside pitch to left field, but not deep enough. And Granderson makes the catch out there. Now, Granderson is a former Met, so when he's back at Citi Field, he is very well received. Let's see if I could figure out where deGrom is now, what I did with deGrom. I have no idea what I did with deGrom. That's his batting card. what I do with this pitching card. Let's see. All right, not there. Oh, this is a drag. I'm going to track where my starting pitcher is. He just vanished. I'm wondering if, oh, you know what? I have a feeling he went with a bunch of players that, there he is, yeah. These are the players that I removed from yesterday's lineup. Now, I need to play with cards. I love playing with cards. There's another game out there where you can play right off a sheet. And I can't imagine myself ever doing that. That would be a nightmare for me. So Curtis Granderson faces Jacob deGrom. And that's going to be a 13. And a 13 is going to be off Curtis Granderson's card. A 13, wow, he doesn't have a very good card. Is going to be a 13, a 63. Yeah, it's a strikeout either way. So it's a K. Granderson strikes out. And next is Brian Anderson. He's a right-handed batter against the righty deGrom. deGrom was 11-8 with a 2.43 ERA, 57, and that's going to be a walk. So deGrom walks Brian Anderson. Now I will tell you, when you print out these cards, the red is kind of hard to read on top of the blue, so they have to be kind of, cautious with that when they add too many colors like that. So if you're going to add a blue, you're going to have to make a really light colored red type, because otherwise some of these things are hard to read. So Brian Anderson manages a walk. He's on at first base with one out. Neil Walker is a switch hitter, so he's batting from the left side. Now with a runner on, we're going to roll 2 dice, and this tells us if there's a pass ball, a balk, and blah, blah, blah. And there is nothing happening there. So here's the pitch to Neil Walker, and that's a 15, and that's going to be a walk. So there you go. Back-to-back walks by Jacob deGrom. And again, we roll to see 66. There's no wild pitch. Starling Castro. That's a 95. That's going to be an out off deGrom's card. We're going to roll a 1. That's a pop foul. And, oh, man, I saw that somewhere. It tells you who the pop foul is to. Kind of bunch chart, lineouts. Where did I see that? That's the only thing. It doesn't have a lot of charts. This game doesn't have a lot of charts, but everything's so kind of, all right, condensed that you can't remember until you learn it, really. Where did I see the pop fly? Oh, wait. It was under the section. Ah, there it is. Line out, pop out. Oh, there, pop fly. PF is a foul pop-up if one's die is even. If the one's die is even, so it's a 5. If the one's die is even, I just lost that. Where was it? Ah, there it is. If it's even, it's a P2. Otherwise, it's a P3. So just pop up to the first baseman. All right, so that's out number 2 now. With runners on first and second, we're going to roll again 2 dice to see if it's a wild pitch or a pass ball. Neil Walker's on at first, and Brian Anderson's on a second here in the bottom half of the first. Both reached on walks. It's a 64. That's off deGrom's card, and that's going to be a strikeout. JT Riddle chases the high heat, the high cheese, and gets a grilled cheese sandwich from Jacob deGrom. Trevor Richards climbs the mound. He looks in for the sign. Michael Conforto, left-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Say 23, and that's going to be a strikeout. So deGrom, Conforto strikes out. Out number one. Next is J.D. Davis. I have Thomas Nito batting there. I don't know why that is. J.D. Davis, Broxton. There you go. Fixed it. And that's going to be a 58 off Trevor Richards. A 58 is line base hit for J.D. Davis. He singles. Single to left, and Granderson plays it in on the hop. So Davis is on at first. We're going to roll, see if it's a wild pitch or a pass ball. No. Keon Broxton, not much of a hitter. Expect him to make easy out. That's an out off Richards card. It's a 98, and it's a 6. And you look, it's a G6H. The H means it's a hard. So an H usually means it's a hard grounder, which is definitely going to probably most likely be a double play. So it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So it's pretty. This game becomes pretty intuitive, and it makes sense. They have slow grounders. They have hard grounders. There's a lot of little details in a system that's really a minimalist system. I mean, there's not a lot of charts. There's most of the results are off the cards. This is a. I'm telling you that this game is truly, a diamond in the rough here. And if I can learn it, anybody can learn it. And my videos will attest to that. All right, so Lewis Brinson is a right-handed batter facing Jacob deGrom. We go to the bottom of the second, and there's no score. Here's the pitch to Lewis Brinson. It's a 42. That's going to be off Brinson's card, and that's an out, kind of an out. We rolled a 6, and that's a ground ball at Ahmed Rosario. He's up with it, fires to first, and gets the speedy Brinson by half a step. Next is Chad Wallach. That's the catcher. It's a 54. That's off deGrom's card. That's going to be line base hit. So Wallach singles off deGrom. Yes, believe it or not. Next is Rosel Herrera, who is a switch hitter. And we have to make him. I'm using an iScore free app and a 9.8 inch screen here. It's a iPad you can get for about $100. It's a 2015, I believe, iPad for about $100. You can get those on eBay. There's a lot of those. Just make sure the seller has good rating. All right, so it's Rosel Herrera with one out. Chad Wallach, he's the Marlins catcher. He's on at first with a single. And that's going to be an 86. An 86 is going to be some sort of out off deGrom's card. You read the red, then the white. Now it's the mod, which is a 4, and it's going to be a G6. Now let's see what that becomes. A G6. A G6 says runner on first. It's a B. Right, a B. And that's lead runner is forced out. Runners advance and batter safe on fielder's choice. So it's going to be 6-4 fielder's choice. Rosario to Cano. There's no throw to first as Chad Wallach comes in hard. So fielder's choice, 6-4. That's going to be 2 outs. Rosel Herrera is on at first. I'm not a big base stealer. I could look up what the battery is. deGrom is a -3, so that's, first of all, not very good for the stolen base. So he's pretty good at containing stolen bases. And let's see. Nito is -3 as well. Holy smokes. So that's a -6 altogether. Oh, no, wait. No. That's wrong. Hold on. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Balk, rest. Pickoff, I believe, is an F. And the throw is a +1. The throw is a +1. So, but I don't think pickoff applies right now. So I think my pitcher is a -3. I think I'm supposed to use that. But no, that doesn't mean -3, does it? I don't think it does. Let's see. SP rest, bat, wild pitch, balk, and put out. So I know my catcher is a +1, so that would add a 1 to Rosel Herrera, who's already at 2. So that make him a 3. Oh, there's no hold. That's why. That's what confuses me. There's on some pitchers you'll have a hold here. That's why I'm thrown off. Okay, so it's just basically a +1 to his 3A. So let's try to steal with Rosel Herrera. Hell, who's up here? Oh, the pitcher's up. You know what? I don't want to steal with him because if he's thrown out, then I'm going to have the pitcher leading off the next inning. So I'm not going to do that. But I will roll to see. I'm going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch or a pass ball, and there is nothing, none of that. Trevor Richards, excuse me. Here's the pitch from deGrom. It's a 48, and that's an out on the pitcher batting card. And I just rolled an 8. That's a fly ball to shallow right. Conforto comes in. Robinson Cano goes out, and Conforto calls him off, makes the catch, and that retires the side. Yep, these are little things that we got to learn to make it smoother, and it goes a little bit smoother every time we play. So I'm really liking this game. I'm really excited about it. Ahmed Rosario is leading it off. Here's the pitch from Trevor Richards. It's a 65, so that's off Richards' card, and that's a strikeout. Rosario goes after the slider, down and away, strikes out. Thomas Nido, the pitch, that's a 79. That's going to be an out, and that's a 4. It's a ground ball, shortstop, slow grounder. JT Riddle up with it, throws on the run, and gets Nido, who's not really very speedy at all. And it's deGrom. deGrom is bats. This is his batting card, so he's a left-handed batter. So let's fix that. Let's turn him around here. Bats left. Pretty decent hitter. Had 70 plate appearances, had 2 home runs, batted 200. Here's the pitch. 0-4. 0-4 is going to be ground ball up the middle and through into center field. So Jacob deGrom with a 2-out single. Very realistic. Did bat 200. Now we're going to roll. And that's a 70, so there's no pass ball or wild pitch. And it's Brandon Nimmo. He's another left-handed batter. Here's the pitch from Trevor Richards. 0-8. 0-8 is ball 4. So with 2 outs, the Mets have something brewing. First and second, Pete Alonso. This is the guy you want up right now. He hit, 53 home runs, won Rookie of the Year. It's about 30 degrees here in San Antonio. And let me tell you, that's freezing for San Antonio. So I'm getting a little hot chocolate as I play out this tutorial. I'm only playing a part of the game, so I can really focus on the details. So you're basically learning it with me. As I learn it, you're learning it. Pete Alonso steps in the box, and Trevor Richards looks in for the sign. We're going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch or pass ball. Nothing there. Here's the pitch. It's a 41. That's off Alonso's card, and that's right out of defensive range and makes it an out of some kind. And we're going to look. That's a 1 out. That's popped up to the right side. Castro calls for it, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So the Mets failed to capitalize on those 2 runners on base. Jacob deGrom, 0-0, going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Really, this game's really moving along. Say 16. A 16 is a strikeout. Curtis Granderson chases. Oh, he's a special batter. So I think 16, that would be a 66, and that would be an out as well. So both outs. Doesn't matter. Next is Brian Anderson. That's a 15, and that's ball 4. So I believe this is the second time Brian Anderson walks off of deGrom. I'm going to roll, see wild pitch, nothing. Here's the pitch to Neil Walker. It's a 90, and that's going to be an out off deGrom. A 2 is a ground ball to the first baseman. Ground ball to the first baseman, G3. And with a runner on first, that's a B. It says lead runner forced. So it's 3-6. So it's a ground ball to Alonso. He goes to second base for one. No throw to first. And we're going to write in the fielder's choice. It's a 3-6 fielder's choice. And I've seen Alonso do that many a time during the course of the season. Anything to his right, he would go to second base with a runner on first. So Neil Walker takes over first base as a base runner, and is Starling Castro. Here's the first we rolled to see wild pitch. There's nothing. Here's the pitch to Starling Castro. Oh, that's a 0-1. That's a deep drive. Deep drive off of Castro's card. Let's see what happens there. And this is going to be a 97. A 97 that does not fall into the 97. It does. So then we're going to look at 2 on the ballpark card, and that's a deep drive to left field. Back goes Nimmo to the track, and he makes the catch standing at the warning track. That retires the side. We go to the top of the 4th. It's Trevor Richards, who's a 9 against 9 endurance against Jacob deGrom, who is a 10 endurance. There's no score, top of the 4th. Robbie Cano. That's a 15 to Robbie Cano. That's a strikeout. Curveball gets Robbie Cano. Next is Michael Conforto, 57. That's going to be a ground ball and through into right field, just outside of Starling Castro's reach. So that's a single for Michael Conforto. And let me look. That is the Mets' 3rd hit of the game. So Conforto is on at first, takes his lead. We roll to see if there's a wild pitch or balk. No. Or pass ball or any of those things. J.D. Davis. And that's a 22 to J.D. Davis. And he goes down looking. Out number 2. J.D. Davis strikes out. Again, we're going to see wild pitch. No. And it's Keon Broxton. There's no way he's getting hit. 57. And that's a single. And that's a little bloop that drops in front of Granderson. In between Granderson and JT Riddle going back. And with Michael Conforto on at first, let's see what Conforto's base running quality is. It's non-existent, but you move one to the one with a single like that, a 57, that's a regular single. You move one to the right, and it's still a question mark. Still a question mark, so I'm not going to even try it. I'm going to play it safe. I want to make the 3rd out at third base. But Keon Broxton actually gets a hit. Hallelujah. Going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch. Nope. And it's Amin Rosario. Rosario's 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at bat. And that's a 17. A 17 is a strikeout. So second strikeout for Ahmed, and that retires the Mets. We are locked in a pitching duel here using deep drive baseball. JT Riddle bats from the left side. He's got special powers versus deGrom. 59 is going to be off of deGrom, and that's going to be a strikeout. So JT, oh, wait, I can change that. I go back down, I believe. 59. And that would become a 9. And that would still be a strikeout. Next is Lewis Brinson. It's a 93. That's an out off of deGrom's card. We look at the deGrom out section, and it's a 5. It's a ground ball, second base. 4-3. That's 2 down. And it's Chad Wallach. Wallach is 1 for 1. He singled his first at bat. And that's an 86. It's not going to happen again here. That's an out off deGrom's card, and that's a fly ball left field. Nimmo to his left makes the catch, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Jake deGrom here in the top of the 5th. It's going to be Trevor Richards pitching to Thomas Nido, Jacob deGrom, and Brandon Nimmo. Here's the pitch to Nido. It's 54. That's going to be a deep drive off Nido's card. And it's a 72. 72 is going to be a double, and that's driven in the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. So Nito's into second base with a double. Leadoff double, and now deGrom is going to bunt. Now I'm not usually a big bunter. You know what? And I'm gonna prove I'm not a big bunter. I'm gonna let him bat because at 200 I'd rather have him bat because he could potentially get a hit here. It is a close game. You know what? It is a close game, and you'd probably be bunting him. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to bunt. Now I'm not a big bunter, and I haven't used the bunt chart, but roll it is normal to play code here. Modifier die to who feels the bunt. Okay, so I'm gonna roll 3 dice. Oh, this is actually just a regular. Okay, so first I'm going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch, and there's no wild pitch. Then I'm just going to do a regular roll. That's how they do this. And then the result is going to tell me what happens to the bunt. So it's a 56. It's a 56, so that's going to be off Richard's card. That's going to be a single plus. So then I'm going to look at basically. Oh, where's the bunt? Oh, okay, here. It's a single plus. Then I'm going to roll on this thing. I'm going to roll on this thing. And I'm going to roll a 10-sided die. So result from batter card, possibly a single, roll die, and check chart. It's a 9. So a 9 is a sacrifice. And the 9 says that it's fielded by the third baseman, throws to the second baseman, Castro covering, and Nito moves to third. So it's an out. It's a sacrifice, 5-4, and runner to third. All right, so deGrom does his job, and there's 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th. There's no score. Mets have 5 hits. Miami has 1, so deGrom's pitching a 1-hitter, and it's Brandon Nimmo against Trevor Richards. Here's the pitch. Infield's going to play. We're going to play the infield in against deGrom. Usually I don't play it this early, but against deGrom I am going to play it. It's going to be 60. So that's going to be off Richards, and that's going to be a walk. Ball 4. So, again, Nimmo shows his eye at the plate, manages a walk. Runners on first and third. And I will play the infield. I'm going to play the corners in, and I'm going to play the middle infield halfway for the double play. Let's roll here. I don't think I just did that. 95, there's no wild pitch. So, Pete Alonso. Corners in, middle for the double play. Here's the pitch. That's a 40 off Alonso's card, and that's going to be some sort of an out. And that's a 3, a G5H with the infield in. Let's see what that becomes. This is the first time I'm using this chart. G5H, infield in. Lineouts. Oh, you know what? Infield in is on the rules. All right, where's that? Infield in. All right. Slow or G, it's an H, right? So that's a hard ground, a G5H, I said. It was a 3, a G5H. So that was a hard grounder. So slower hard grounder results in runner on third holding unless they are forced ahead, in which case they are thrown out at the plate. That's if the bases were loaded, I guess. Regular groundouts, slower hard groundouts result in the runner on third holding, unless they are forced ahead, in which case, okay. So basically, this is going to be a 5-3 ground out. No, out. It's going to be a ground out 5-3. And runner is going to hold at third base. And runner to second, advanced by batter. So Nimmo moves to second. There's 2 outs now, and it's Robbie Cano. We're going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch. Infield's back now. No wild pitch. Here goes Robbie Cano. Let's see if he comes through. 34. 34 is an out on Cano's card. And that's a 9. That's a fly ball. He lines it, but right at Brinson for out number 3. So it got exciting there. We thought we were going to score with the Mets, but nothing happened. So Jacob deGrom's got a one-hitter going here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Rosell Herrera, and that's a 0-6. 0-6 is a ground ball and through into right field. Conforto plays it on a hop. So Rosell Herrera is on at first. And he's a 3 base stealer. Now we'll try to steal. We're going to try to steal now. Oh, we can bunt, but I'd rather him. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. Let's try to steal. Let's be. Let's throw caution to the wind. Throw caution to the wind. Found the chart. Okay, so he's a 3. He's a 3 stolen base. Let's see. Let's roll. He's a what kind of base stealer is he? Rosell Herrera. On at first. First, we're going to roll, see if there's a wild pitch or a pass ball, and there is not. So now we are going to. He's an A. So he's an A. He's a 3A. So it's 0 to 24. He steals the base. 25 to 28. He doesn't. So let's roll. 0 to 24. It's a 77. So basically, he doesn't get the jump, so he doesn't go. So now we're going to bunt. We just have to play this regularly, and we're going to roll for the 0-2. There's a chance here for a wild pitch or a pass ball. Let's see what happens here. Here's your catcher chart. Okay, so we rolled a 0-2. We're going to roll again because that doesn't count. We have to roll again. It's between 0-2 and 0-5. You roll on the pitcher catcher chart. So you roll on the pitcher catcher chart. It's a 78. It says if pitcher pickoff rating is A, B, C, or D, it's a pickoff. And deGrom is an F. So he does not have a good pickoff move. So he does not pick off Herrera. So we're just going to roll again. Again for wild pitch. Nothing there. And even though I don't think I should have done that, but so I guess he tried to pick him off, and that's okay that I rolled again because he tried to pick him off. He didn't do that, so now he's going to throw another pitch home, and that's why I rolled for the next pitch to be potential wild pitch or pick off or whatever it is. All right, so let's pitch to Trevor Williams, who's going to bunt now. So we got to play him regular, and that's a 0-1. A 0-1 on Trevor Richards' card is a rare. So we're going to have to, so 3 or less, it's a deep drive. And we roll the 4. So that's going to be an out of some kind. Let's roll again off Richard's card. So it's a 5. That's a G4, but we're bunting, remember? We're bunting. A G4 is an out. So a G4 is an out. So we're going to roll again the green and look at the out chart. It's an 8. And that says 5 to 9 is a sacrifice. And who is a 2? Who is the sacrifice 2? We're going to roll to find that out, even though we can use that 8. But 5, it's going to be a, let me see, 0-1 is the pitcher, 2 to 3 is the catcher, 4 to 5 is the first baseman. So it's a 3 to 4 sacrifice by Richards, 3 to 4. Fielded by Alonso, turns around and whips it to Cano at first, and that advances the batter. So Rosell Herrera is on at second base. Curtis Granderson, the batter. Jacob deGrom looks in for the sign. I'm going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch. And 0-2, there could be a wild pitch. Here we go again. So this is pretty exciting. We don't know what's going to happen here. Pitcher-catcher chart. Let's see what happens. It's an 89. 89 asks me, catcher pass ball rating is an F. It's a pass ball. So the catcher pass ball rating is, neato, pass ball rating is a B, like in Batman. So it's not a pass ball. All right. So now we don't have to roll again. Or maybe we do. I don't know. Who knows? I guess we roll one time per batter, not every time we, because then there'd be a lot of rolls. So Curtis Granderson, Jacob deGrom looks in for the sign. Here's the pitch to 1 out with the go-ahead run at second base in the bottom of the 5th. There's no score in this game. Using It's you read the red first, then the white. It's 84. 84 is going to be off deGrom's card, and that's going to be an out of some kind. And that's a one. A one's a pop up. So Granderson pops it up to the left side, and JD Davis in foul ground back into fair ground and makes the catch. Fair territory. And Rosell Herrera holds up at second base. 2 out now. And it's Brian Anderson. Brian Anderson's walked twice. He's a right-handed batter. Oh, you know what? Wait a second. I get a chance to. He's a lefty with a circle. So what did we say it was? It was an 84. So we can turn that into a 34, a 24. 24, that would be 74. 34. 34 and 50 would be 84. So we can go to turn that into a 34, and a 34 would also be an out. So we don't have to worry about that. Because for some reason he's a specialty versus I guess the opposite. I think I'm playing that right. I'm not totally sure. But it makes sense to me. He's a specialist. He's a lefty specialist, so he hits righties. But I'm not sure. I think it has to be a righty specialist, but I'm not totally sure about that. Anyway, I shouldn't even use that because I haven't learned it yet, and I'm still learning the rest of the game. It's an optional rule. It's an optional rule, and I'm still learning, so forgive me. Brian Anderson. Let's roll to see what happens. Wild pitch. Oh, it's an 11. Nope. Okay, here goes. Pitch to it's an 11 again. Back-to-back 11s, and that's a single. And I think that's going to score because Rosell Herrera, if he's fast, and that's going to be a 1-0. So he's just average speed. Holy smokes, he is average speed, but he moves. Okay, so we may get a throw to the plate here. So he is average speed on the single, which is an 11. It's a plain single. It's not a single plus. So on a plain single, he has no quality. So he moves up to fast because with two outs, he's moving on contact. So it becomes a question mark. So now we're going to try to score. We're going to try to score. It's going to be on a choice chart. And what we are going to do is we're going to roll. We're going to roll on the choice chart. It's a 37. 37. And here's the throw to the plate from Broxton. And the tag, not in time. So the Marlins take a 1-0 lead on the base hit by Brian, a 2-out hit by Brian Anderson. And with a throw to the plate, Brian Anderson is going to take second base. And I'm just double checking everything I did there. It was a 37. And runner is safe at home. On a single, if defensive manager throws home, runner who started from first moves up to third on the throw. So I'm going to say that Anderson doesn't say anything about the runner, but you know what? I'm going to play it that Anderson moves to second on that, on the throw home. That's unless you're really, really a knucklehead. You know, we wanted that, especially in a game like this. We want to definitely get that throw to the plate. We're not going to cut it off. So I got to find out more about that play. But I'm going to let Anderson go to second base. So it's 1-0 Miami now, and this is typical of Mets games when deGrom pitches. They never really score any runs. So this is very true to life, very extremely true to life. So we're going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch. No, and it's Neil Walker. And that's a 0-9er. A 0-9er on Neil Walker's card is another single. And Brian Anderson is slow. Slow becomes no. So he does not advance. So he's going to stop at third base. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, very slow. So slow. No. Yeah. Yep, still no. So he does not score. Advances to third. So this is let me look and see. deGrom's, has he allowed 3 consecutive singles? No, he's allowed a single, a sacrifice, a pop-up, and then 2 singles. Holy smoke. So the runner's on first and third, and it's Starlin Castro. Roll to see if there's a wild pitch. Nope. So here's the pitch to Starlin Castro. And that's a 23. 23 is an out. On Castro's card, that's a 7. That's a fly ball to shallow left field. Nimmo running in makes a nice grab for out number 3, but the damage has been done, and the Marlins take a 1-0 lead. So this is a pretty good game. Deep drive baseball. I recommend you try it out. For $1, you can try out this game. You get, I think it's the 2016 teams. I think you get the 2016 World Series teams. Michael Conforto steps into the box. He bats lefty. Trevor Richards looks in for the sign. This is the second time around. So he's used up 5 innings plus the second time around. Well, one time around, complete one time around. So that's 6. So he's still got 3 points of endurance. Michael Conforto. Let's see if the Mets can get their bats going. 74. 74 is a strikeout. Trevor Richards blows it by Michael Conforto. Next is J.D. Davis. 88. 88, that's a 3. That's a ground ball. Nope, that's a ground ball to third base. Brian Anderson fires to first. 2 down. And next is Keon Broxton, 49. 49 is an out off. Oh, wait a second. Off Broxton's card. That's a 6, and that's a ground ball to JT Riddle. And that's out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Easy peasy for Trevor Richards. Holy smokes. I wonder if Trevor Richards is going to be able to beat Jacob deGrom. This is not looking pretty. Let's get this going here. JT Riddle, the batter. Pitch from deGrom. 33. He's has an advantage here as well. But it's not going to help him. It's an out to let's look at that. Let's look at that rule again. I explained that rule to me and it makes sense. Let's see. Advantage of left-handed batter. Right-handed this is a left-handed specialist. So a left-handed specialist batter faces a right-handed specialist pitcher. The batter will get the advantage. So only if the pitcher, right-handed specialist batter, faces a left-handed pitcher. So this would not apply. So it would not apply in this case. deGrom would have to be a lefty specialist sort of thing. Or, righty specialist. And he's not. So, okay, he's just playing. All right. So it's going to be a 33, and that's off of JT Riddle's card, which is an out. And that's a ground ball to Alonso. He takes it. You know what? I'm going to roll 1 die, 1 and 2. 25% of the time, he flips it to the pitcher. So that's a 6. 1 and 2 would be flipped to the pitcher. That's a ground ball to Alonso. He takes it himself and beats JT Riddle to the bag. 1 out. Next is Lewis Brinson. He's 0 for 2 today. 73. And that's a strikeout. So deGrom blows it by Brinson. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 1-0. Miami. That's a 12. 12 is ball 4. So Chad Wallach walks, and Wallach's been on base 2 out of 3. He walks there. He's fielder's choice single. So let's undo that. Let's redo. So he walks. Okay, so he's walked and he's single and he's into fielder's choice. So he's 2 for 3. And it's Rosel Herrera. We'll roll to see if there's a wild pitch. No. And here's the pitch to Rosel Herrera, 0-8. On Herrera's card, a 0-8 is a base on balls. Ball 4. Now there's action in the Mets bullpen here. 2 outs. Next is Trevor Richards. Not going to pull him. We're going to let him bat. That's a 20. Looks like a 27. 27 is a strikeout. So blows it by Richards. deGrom gets out of trouble. Top of the 7th. I'm going to play this through. It's moving fast. It's moving fast, and I'm feeling more comfortable with the game, and it's a heck of a game. I don't want to miss out on this. It's going to be 63. A 63 is ball four. So Ahmed Rosario walks, and this is the guy you want on base. Now, I should change his run rating. I got to ask Chris about his run rating. It's weird that he's just a blank there, which means he's average, because Rosario is definitely not average. He moves for sure. So no, 5 minutes. It's almost over. So let's see. Let's think about what we're going to do here with Ahmed Rosario at first. Are we can bunt? Are we going to pinch hit for Nito? Are we going to hit and run? Are we going to try to steal a base? Ahmed Rosario is a 2C base stealer, -1 hold rating, and the catcher Wallach is. See what kind of. Oh, he's got no throw rating, so he's just like a blank. So I guess it would be a -1. So Rosario would be a 1. That's not going to give him a stolen base. So that's definitely not going to work. I could bunt with Nito and then pinch hit for deGrom. Wow, this is a tough one, because then I'm going to be forced to pinch hit for deGrom here, and that's the way the ball bounces, I guess. So we're gonna bunt. We are going to bunt, so let's do that. Let's roll for wild pitch. No luck there. So let's see off Nito. So 43 off Nito, and that's an out of some kind. And that's a 1. It's pop 3. Pop 3 is an out. So we got to roll again a 1. There's a lot of rolls in this bunting thing. So it's an 8, and that's a sacrifice. And the sacrifice is to 0 to the pitcher, so it's going to be a 1-4 sack. So Nito does his job. Again, I think I bunted 3 times in this game, and I never ever bunt, so that's pretty funny. So Rosario's on at second base now. Nito does his job. Rosario's on at second base, and it's Jacob deGrom, the batter. I'm going to have to pull deGrom. This is going to kill me. So deGrom, the batter, gets pulled, and I'm going to have to bring in. I am going to bring in Dom Smith. Dom Smith is going to pinch hit. Now there's a. Let's see. All right, pitching team has a closer. No, if a team at bat is trailing with the potential tying run on base or at bat, and that should be like after the 7th inning. So this is the case here. So he has a circle, so that would give him an advantage there. This is like a clutch rating almost. So one advantage is the team at bat is trailing, which the Mets are, and the potential run on base or at bat. So Dominic would get a +50 or a -50, whatever benefits him the most. So we're going to bring in Dom Smith to bat. Now we could walk Dom Smith, but we don't want to put the go-ahead run on base. That would not be smart baseball. So we're not going to do that. We're going to roll to see if there is a wild pitch. And no wild pitch. So Dom Smith, lefty batter with a circle. So he has like special ability here in this situation against Trevor Richards. And that's going to be an 85. And that's not going to do it, because an 85 -50 becomes a 35, and the 35 is still an out. And what kind of an out? It's a fly ball right field deep. And I'm wondering, can Rosario tag up off that deep fly ball? Let me see what it says about that. So runner advances. So 9 deep. So runner, it says home, yes. Third, question mark. So basically I would have to try to, and I'm not going to do that, make the third out. So it's a deep fly ball to right field. And let me see what I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to get thrown out of third base. It's just not worth it, because he's going to most likely score with 2 outs from second base. So Rosario's going to hold deep right field, but not deep enough. and it's hit a little bit on the line. So Roselle has a pretty good arm out there, so he's not going to advance. So, oh, but wait a second, because that would be the second out, right? That's the second out. So, let's see. Again, I'm learning this chart. This is a flyout chart. It's called. So So if it was to sacrifice fly, he'd score. But if it's to advance to third, there's a question mark. But since there's two outs after that catch, there's two outs now. But there wasn't two outs when that ball was hit. So no, he wouldn't be. And this is like a tag up play, so that wouldn't even qualify. Yeah. So, and in the choice chart, single defense man, there's nothing runner caught now. Nope. All right, so Brandon Nimmo's up. So Brandon Nimmo is up. And here's the pitch. And that's a 13, and that's going to be ball 4. So Nimmo walks again. I think that's his second or third walk of the game. And this is the 1, 2. Yeah, he's only been around twice. Hasn't given up any runs. He's pitching in the top of the 7th inning. That's 6 plus 2. That's 8. Yep. So he's still good he's still got one more point. Trevor Richards has one more point. And he's going to face Pete Alonso. I'm going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch. Nope. All right, so here's the pitch of Pete Alonso. Now, this is the guy the Mets won up. He hit 53 home runs. And he's due, big time due. So let's see what happens. 40, that's not going to do it. Holy smokes. I can't get Pete Alonso to do anything for me. All right, that's a fly ball, deep fly ball to left field. And Granderson back makes the catch, and that retires the side. But that was definitely exciting. deGrom is out, unfortunately. And let's see who pitched in this game for the Mets. Let's see what the breaking news is. Giants hire former Phillies manager Gabe Kepler as their new skipper. All right, so who pitched for the Mets in this one? It was Avilan. Avilan is pitched for the Mets. Gazelman and Diaz. So we have a lefty coming up in Curtis Granderson. We have a righty and a lefty and a switch hitter. So we're going to bring in Avilan. If we can track Avilan. Let's see if we can track him. So we got a lot of cards here. There he is. Luis Avilan. He's a specialty. Specialty versus specialty, and I believe the relief pitcher has the advantage. Let me see here. So it says, if a left-handed specialist batter faces a left-handed pitcher, the advantage goes to the lefty pitcher. Okay. Same side, basically. Makes sense. I like this. I like this rule. Makes a lot of sense. So now you could potentially pinch hit for Granderson, which is probably what would be done, although he did play the whole game. But you could bring in Martin Prado, and he could play out there as well. I think Prado, even though Prado, I've seen him play a lot of first base. I'm looking at the wrong team. Let me take a quick peek and see who else. Prado pinch hits, Alfaro pinch hits, Miguel Rojas could pinch hit. So let's see Prado. Prado, yeah, who's going to play left field for me? Rojas is an infielder. Oh, let me see the next game. Let's see the next Marlin game, see who's around to play the outfield next game. All right, Marlins, left field. O'Brien is still there, and O'Brien could play left field. I have him left fielders too. Okay, so we're gonna bring in. You know what? Let's just let O'Brien pinch hit, and then he's gonna stay in to play left field. That would make my life much simpler. All right. So O'Brien comes in. Pete O'Brien is his name. He's a right-handed batter. He's going to pinch hit. Pete O'Brien. There he goes. Defensive sub, yes. So he's going to play left field. All right, so we're going to let Luis Avilan pitch to him because we don't have a choice. We must let him pitch to at least one batter. Next year it's going to be 3 batters, I hear, right? Lefty batters, the loogies, when you bring them in, they're going to have to pitch to 3 batters. All right, 0-1. So that's a deep drive. Oh, no, there's no deep drive on his card, but it's a single. Base hit for Pete O'Brien. And Curtis Granderson is out. I'll roll to see if there's a wild pitch. 94. Nope. Pete O'Brien is very slow. We could pinch run for him. Brian Anderson. 92. That's going to be an out off Avilan's card, a 6. And that's a hard ball. That's an H. That's a 6-4-3. Rosario to Cano, back to Alonso, double play. Taylor made double play ball. So I know that hard is automatically a double play, especially when there's a, yeah. So I really like that about the game. I'm learning a little bit more about it already. As you can see, now double 6-4H, I'm sorry, G6H is an E, and an E is a double play. So I'm right. So now it's Neil Walker. Wait a second. So that was a Brian Anderson double play, right? Is that what I said? Yeah, double play. And Pete O'Brien singles, pinch hitter. And I never brought in Avilan. So I backed up, and I'm going to put Avilan in there. Avilan is a lefty. Let's make sure he's pitching lefty. Yep, he is. All right, so Pete O'Brien singled. And then I rolled for a wild pitch. I didn't get it. Then it was Brian Anderson into hard ground ball right to shortstop. Rosario flips to Cano, back to Alonso, 6-4-3 double play. 2 out, nobody on. Neil Walker. Pitch to Neil Walker's 23 off Walker's card. That's strike 3. Walker strikes out. Curveball gets him. And we go to the top of the 8th. Top of the 8th. Trevor Richards is still in there. Trevor Richards is still in there. Against Robbie Cano. So he went 7. And what is the other fatigue factor here? I'm learning the fatigue factors as I go with you. So endurance. 1 point for each additional hit after 5. 1 point, that's in 1 inning. 1 point at the conclusion of an inning, yes. 1 point after 9th batter faced. So he's, this is the 3rd time around. So that's 2 plus 7. That's 9. That's about it. He can't go the 8th. So he's done. Trevor Richards is going to get pulled. Trevor Richards is going to get pulled. And I'll tell you who's going to come in. Trevor Richards gets pulled. And let's see who played in this game. And in this game, who pitched for the Marlins? It was Nick Anderson. We're going to bring in Nick Anderson. There he is. Nick Anderson was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays, so I had to pull him from there. Every single card comes with the seasons. You just have to pull him from the last team they played for. That's the only, catch there. You have to pull him, find him from the last team. You got to look him up, see what team he played on, and you got to print that out and cut that out. But trust me, it's well worth it. It's a great game. So it's going to be Nick Anderson. Although, who else came in? Is there a lefty? Austin Bryce came in as well. I'm going to bring in Bryce, and he's a righty. So both are righties, so I'm not going to worry about it. Although they're facing back-to-back lefties, it would make more sense to bring like Conley in there. And I think Conley is one of those loogies. Let's see if Conley's a loogie or if he's just regular. No, Conley's just a regular lefty, so it won't make any difference. You know what? Just for realism, two lefties coming up. I'm going to bring in Conley. So Conley's going to come in. All right, so we're at the top of the eighth. It's 1-0. deGrom started the game. Avilan is in there right now, but we'll see how long that lasts. Adam Conley, the lefty, is called in for Richards, who's pitched basically a shutout, 5-hit shutout. And he's going to be facing Robbie Cano. Here he goes. Here's the pitch to Robbie Cano. That's a 45. That's an out off Cano's card. A 1. That's popped up to the right side. And your first baseman, Neil Walker, makes the catch. One away. Next pitch to Conforto, 0-7. That's a single plus. So Conforto singles to center, and he's on at first. Now the plus, I believe, means he can try for second. I believe that's what it means. Not totally sure what it means. I'm learning what it means. Let's see what it says. Single plus. Single plus and single. Use the runner chart to check runner advancement. Okay. All right, so J.D. Davis and Michael Conforto's on at first with one out. Going to roll to see a wild pitch. Oh, 0-2. There could be a wild pitch. This is exciting now. So if we can get him to second, that would be a huge advantage. I'm gonna laminate these boards, by the way. I try to laminate them, see if I could do it tomorrow, but I'm so lazy after work. So it's a 0-2. We're gonna have to re-roll again. On the chart, pitcher catcher chart. And then Alaska's a question about the pitcher and the catcher. So it's a 52. A 52 asks me if pitcher wild pitch rating is a B, C, D, or F. It's a wild pitch. B, C, D, or F. Wild pitch, it's a C, so it is a wild pitch. And there goes Conforto over to second base on the wild pitch by Conley. How cool is that? Exactly what we needed. Exactly what the doctor ordered here in a 1-0 game in the top of the eighth. Miami leading at 1-0. And J.D. Davis at the plate. Now, he's a righty. And you know what? We're going to bring in a righty. We could walk him and face Broxton, who's horrible. But then, of course, the Mets will bring in a pinch hitter. And we don't want to put the go-ahead run on base either. So we're going to bring in Nick Anderson. Bring in Nick Anderson, a righty. I don't think I have any righty specialists here that I could bring in. I don't even think I have any specialists at all in this team. This team's terrible. Yeah, I don't have any of that going on here. Nobody with a circle. Oh, there's one. Yadier Rivera, but he's a batter. All right, and I don't even know if he's on the team right now. All right, so Nick Anderson's coming in there. Nick Anderson got traded, had a pretty good season. He had a 3.32 ERA in 68 games. Nick Anderson is going to face J.D. Davis. Actually, you know what? Let's back this up. Let's do this a little bit differently. Let's kind of recreate. Okay, so Conley, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in Nick Anderson. We're gonna bring in Nick Anderson. Now the role was for a wild pitch, and he's an F. And I know it's said all the way to F as well. The result was like it was a 35, I believe, or something like that. It was a C, D, or F. So anyway, it's a wild pitch on Nick Anderson. So there goes Conforto to second base. That's better because I shouldn't have let Conley pitch to J.D. Davis. It makes absolutely no sense, especially with a bunch of right-handers that I have that are pretty good on the dugout in the bullpen. So okay, so it's Nick Anderson. He's going to face J.D. Davis with Michael Conforto at second base. There's one out, so tying run is at second base. Got to get a hit here. So let's roll for the wild pitch, which we just did. So I guess we don't have to roll again for the wild pitch because it's the same batter. So it's going to be a 44, and that's going to be an out off Davis. Let's see what kind of an out it is. 3. It's a ground ball, hard ground ball to third baseman. So it's 3H. 3H. And with a runner on second, 3H is an H, and that means that he advances, batter advances. So ground ball to Neil Walker. And does he take it himself or flips it to the pitcher covering? He takes it himself. And advancing to third is Conforto. Time run is 90 feet away. Keon Broxton. We're going to pinch hit for Keon Broxton because he's a nightmare. He is a nightmare. And who pinch hit in this game for the Mets? Mets had Dominic Smith as a pinch hitter and Wilson Ramos. That's the guy I want. That's the guy I want right now. He's a clutch player. Wilson Ramos. Now he should have his letter circled. We could track him. Justin Wilson. Wilson Ramos is a heck of a clutch player. He had a handful of RBIs in these situations, driving in the go-ahead run, the tying run. But, I watch the Mets every night, so I would know. All right, Wilson Ramos. Let's pinch hit. And there he is. He's coming in for Broxton, so he's definitely not going to. All right, so Wilson Ramos, there's 2 outs, the top of the 8th. It's 1-0 Miami. We're going to roll first to see if there's a wild pitch. That's the first thing we're going to do. And there's no wild pitch, and here goes. We're going to roll Wilson Ramos. It's a 25, and that's going to be an out. An 8, and that's a fly ball to right field. Takes it the other way, but right to Rosel Herrera in right for the final out. Mets made it exciting there. We thought they would potentially have the tying run. Well, they had the tying run on base, but we wanted him to score, and that didn't happen. So we have a new pitcher coming in for the Mets because Starlin Castro is leading it off. He's a right-hander. So we're going to bring in, again, this is the bottom of the 8th. So I'm going to hold off on Edwin Diaz. I am going to bring in, let's see, Gazelman, Avilan. Let's go back up. Previous game. Let's see who they bring the previous game. Pitching lines. Gazelman, Lugo. All right, we're going to bring in Lugo for this 1 inning. Although Lugo can go 2, but he's not officially the closer. And if you have a closer, you got to use him. That's to prevent guys from gaming the system. All right, so Seth Lugo is coming in. Face the right-hander, Starlin Castro. There's Lugo. He's in. And let's see. Who do we pinch hit for? Broxton is out. Lagares is going to be in there in center field. Juan Lagares. I believe Juan Lagares is still around at this point. Broxton, Wilson. Yeah, Lagares just played yesterday, so he should still be there. All right. So Seth Lugo looks in for the sign against Starlin Castro. Here's the pitch. It's a 62. 62 is a strikeout off of Lugo's card. Next batter is the lefty JT Riddle. And that's a 26. 26 is a defense. Oh, that's exciting. So that's a 49, defensive chart 49. And that's going to be first baseman. First baseman, Pete Alonso. I think Pete Alonso is a 3. I believe Pete Alonso is a 3, and he is. That's like an average first baseman. What did we say was 49? 49. A 3 is a single. So gets by Pete Alonso under his glove. So JT Riddle singles. He's on at first. Lewis Brinson. Gonna roll to see if there's a wild pitch there. It's a 26, no wild pitch. Lewis Brinson. It's a 91. And that's off Lugo. A Lugo 2 is a G1. G1 with a runner on first is a B. That's lead runners forced out. Runners advance. Batter safe on fielder's choice. So what did we say it was? It was a 71. 71. Wait a second. It's a 2. It's a G1. It was off Lugo's card. All right, so the G1 with a runner on first is a B. Lead runner forced out. Runners advance and batter safe on a fielder's choice. Okay, so it's basically a 1-6, if you will, fielder's choice, which makes sense. Let's do that again. Fielder's choice, 1-6. Runners forced at second. And Lewis Brinson is on at first now. And we're going to roll to see if there's a wild pitch. And it's a 10. There's no wild pitch. Chad Wallach. Here's the pitch from Lugo. 2 outs, 96. That's an out on Lugo's card, and that's a 9. That's a fly ball center field. And right there is Lagares. Makes the catch, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Bottom half of the 9th inning. We're going to bring in a new pitcher. And we're going to bring in Bryce, Austin Bryce, to face the Mets. Austin Bryce. He's going to face Amed Rosario, leading it off. Let's see what the Mets can do. That's a 12. A 12 is going to be a ground ball and through into center field. So Rosario's on. Next is Thomas Nido. He's bunted already once. So we're going to have to bunt again for him. So here goes for the wild pitch. Nothing. Let's see. It's a 41. A 41 is an out. Let's see what kind of an out. It's a 5. A 5 is basically a regular out. Regular out. And a 5 is going to be a sacrifice. Sacrifice to who? Well, actually, we have to roll again. That's a sacrifice. Now, sacrifice to who? And 4. 4 is the first baseman, so it's 3-4. 3-4 sacrifice. And runner advances. So with 1 out, we have the tying run at second base now. And it's the pitcher. Going to bring in a pinch hitter. Let's see who the Mets used as a pinch hitter. Let's go back to the previous game. Oh, no, that's the game we want to use. Next game. Next game. There it is. Okay, Mets batting. Who do they use as a pinch hitter? Wilson Ramos, Dominic Smith, Luis Guillorme. Luis Guillorme is there. We're going to use him as a pinch hitter. That's the most realistic thing we could do at this point. Luis Guillorme. Oh, he's a lefty. Lefty with a circle. But his only advantage, again, is if he faces... let's see. So, pitcher advantage. Pitcher batter. A lefty specialist, which is Guillorme, faces a right-handed specialist. So the batter would have the advantage. Batter would have the advantage if a right-handed specialist faces a left-handed specialist. Left-handed specialist batter Right-handed specialist batter faces a left-handed specialist pitcher. So it's not specialist versus specialist here. So it's not working. A right-handed specialist batter team is trailing with potential run at bat. Ah, team is trailing with a potential run at on base or at bat, and a right-handed pitcher is on the mound. That's a different one. A right-handed pitcher is on the mound, and see a pitching team has a closer. Oh, that's a different one. Okay, so A, the team at bat is trailing with potential tying run on base. That sounds like an advantage for the batter. Or B, a right-handed pitcher, RP. Oh no, a relief pitcher is on the mound. I guess RP, relief pitcher. Yeah, that's what that means. A relief pitcher is on the mound, or a pitching team has a closer available who has high enough endurance. So basically, there's no closer here that I can see on this team right now. So there's no closer, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to give them an advantage here. There is no closer. They're all right-handed pitchers. I mean, relief pitchers, but there are no closers on this team, which is very strange. I'm thinking, did they trade their closer at some point? Did they have a closer? But I haven't seen them in the box scores. I haven't seen anybody officially closing. So okay, so it's going to be Luis Guillorme. And I don't even think I have him written in there. Let me write him in. Luis Guillorme, pinch hitter. He's a left-handed batter. Bats lefty. All right. So he bats lefty. And versus Austin Bryce. So he's got the time run on second, so he's going to have an advantage in this situation, from my understanding of the game mechanics. This is again is optional, but I'm going to use it. So Luis Guillorme has a circle, and that's going to give him an advantage because of the situation as a pinch hitter. This, I guess, to encourage pinch hitters, right? I mean, to bring in guys to pinch hit, because otherwise, why would you ever do that? I think that's the thinking behind it. I don't know if I spoke to him about this one. I got to reread what he wrote me. All right, so let's do that. Here's the pitch from Bryce, and that's a 27. A 27 is going to be a defense. I can make that into 77, which is going to be defense as well. All right, so it's defense. I'm going to roll on defense, and that's a 60. So this could be exciting now. This could be exciting because the tying run is at second base in the top of the ninth. That's a 60. That's going to be the third baseman. Third baseman is Anderson. Anderson is probably no better than oh, he's a 5. Holy smokes. That's like a really good third baseman. Yeah, that's like one of the best third basemen there is. That's a G5. That's a G5 third baseman. So that's really, really good. And with a runner at second, G5, it says an A, batter thrown out, runners hold. So it's 5-3. Great play by Anderson. Lays out, up, fires the first, 5-3. And Rosario Ahmed has to hold at second base. And here's a wild pitch. See if it comes up. Does not. All right. So here's Brandon Nimmo, lefty. And that's a 75. I think that's going to be the ball game. That's a strikeout. Ball game over. Mets lose it. Their record drops to 3-3. And the winning pitcher is going to go to Trevor Richards. Losing pitcher is going to be Jacob deGrom. Loses it 1-0. Holy smokes. This is life imitating life. Or art. I guess this would be art imitating life. All right, line score. We're doing a deep drive tutorial / game. Line score: New York, no runs, 7 hits, no errors, 10 left on base. Miami, 1 run, 6 hits, no errors, 9 left on base. Very exciting game. Um, you know, there were some innings there that Mets got a runner to second base, and I had to decide what I was gonna. When he got on first, leadoff batter got on base. Was I going to bunt him? Was there going to be a wild pitch or a pass ball? Was I going to bunt him? Was I going to hit and run? Was I going to try to steal? So there was a lot of factors trying to figure out how to get him to second base in a close game like this. Something you don't usually get a chance to do in modern games. But this was Game 6 of my Mets 2019 Mets replay using Deep Drive Baseball. The game's a blast. This is CP Cards and Dice. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your cards and dice are? And this is CP Cards and Dice signing out. I will talk to you guys soon. I will play another game tomorrow. And I think the Mets, the Mets, let's see who they face next. Let us see who the Mets face next. Washington Nationals, but this time they're going to be at Shea. So that's exciting. And who's going to pitch the first game? Let's find out. The pitching, it's going to be Steven Strasburg versus Noah Syndergaard. It's going to be a lot of base stealing on Noah Syndergaard. You know that. It's going to be the battery for the Mets is going to be Noah Syndergaard and Wilson Ramos. So that's the battery. There's going to be a lot of stolen bases in that game. All right, guys, take care. This is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for stopping by and checking it out. See you later.